Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead for the love of half square triangles. I'm doing yet another sofa quilt. Finished one off last month and that's hanging on my design wall, and I tried different designs out and I'm going to make them into cushion colours, but I found one I like, so this is how I'm doing it. I've got 5-inch squares. This I am using as my background. Now you can use whatever colours you want, but I'm using this as my background. Now to make 2 squares, because they're different, each block is. So we want one of the colours and one of the background with a line drawn diagonally across it, and they are both 5 inches square. I've done them at 5 inches square because if anyone has got a charm pack that they want used, there's no trimming or anything until the blocks are done. But for getting 2 squares out, here's another colour on, you need 13 in total of these half square triangles. So that's 2 I've done. And I haven't got a different colour, have I? So let's see what I've got a lot of. We'll put one of them in. That'll make 13. And we go to the sewing machine and we sew 1/4 inch away from that line on both sides. And then after I've done that, I'll show you what you do next. As you can see, I chain stitch them all. Chain piece, that's it. And now it's just a case of snipping these threads apart. So all you do, snip them apart. It's far faster than doing it individually and cutting them and all the rest. I think I need some new snips or a sharper. But once you've done that, like I said, I'm using the frame of my Unique Hoop Zone frame because it's dark over there and I've got a lovely light here. So now you can possibly, let me just move that into shot. Yeah, you can see the line down it. If not, you might be able to see my stitching line, which is 1/4 inch away from the line I drew on it. And you can't really see it there. But then you take it to your cutting table. This is what I'm using at the moment. Put your ruler along your drawn line and then just trim. Didn't think I caught it there. That's it. And then you can open it out and you will have a half square triangle. Now these are turning out just fractionally over 4.5 inches. So we need to trim them down. See, there's 4.5. It's just fractionally. It is just fractions. So I'll take them to the ironing board and press them back. And in fact, I'll show you that now because I've got that mat that can do it. This is one of my wool pressing mats. Now you can choose. On this one, I've had my seam allowance going towards the accent. But you can also have it, going towards the accent, but you can also have it going towards the colour. It depends on which way you want them. I don't know where they're going to be laid in the block themselves, so I don't want to, I don't know which way I want them pressing, so this is just starting to do it now. And then you iron them out, press them out, and that gives you a nice pressing. Then I'm only using this turntable one because it's in a different place than on my big cutting mat. You want a ruler that has got a 45-degree line right up to the corner. It doesn't matter what size it is, as long as it isn't littler than 4.5 inches. It's better. I use a 6.5-inch ruler, and you just put that diagonal line on your seam, and then find the 4.5, make sure it's on the bottom. The 4.5 is on this side, so if I trim these two sides, I will have an exact 4.5-inch triangle. There's that. Wait, and I'm turning it because it's awkward for me. But you don't have to. And all you've got left is one doggy, and that's your half square triangle. Now I'll show you again that you don't need to turn it. It's just me being awkward. So that would be the best way. Right, put your diagonal line on there. Find your 4.5-inch line on the bottom. Scoot it over to keep that diagonal line on 4.5 inches. And everything else is lined up. So you just up one side and the other. 4.5-inch square. So you've got your rotary blade in your hand, just trim off the doggy, and that's it. And when I've trimmed them all down, I'll show you how I'm going to sort this out and the layout of the blocks. I forgot I didn't tell you when I was making these. I've made some, because these have all got the back, what I'm using is the background colour. But these I've made with like an accent colour, if you like. This sofa quilt is going to be for me mother, and I've already made her things with this fabric in it. So I thought it'd be nice to tie it together. And they're only needed for the middle of the star block, which we will start first. So let's choose 2 colours. Now the star block, where is it? There. Yes, I want the 2 of what I'm calling the accent fabrics pointing together. And then what did I do next? Oh yes, just found two and put them like that. So that's the same colour fabric. We may need to do some switching around, we may not. You can see, let's bring it down a touch. There. So that's the centre of the block. I have cut some 4-inch squares, well 4.5-inch squares of what I'm using as a background, and they go in the corners because they are now, it's a bit tatty, they are now the same size as your half square triangles. So there are those, and just go round filling in with your half square triangles to make a star design. Like that. Another one of these. We'll have it, don't know, I can go there because I've done quite a few of these. That colour we've used once. This colour. Several of those. This colour. And you can see the star sort of coming together if I put them in the right place. And we've got one more piece to do, and I'll do that one. Now, up here, is the second layout, which I always get confused by. So we don't need any of the plain corner blocks because it's all these. So we'll have that colour pointing out, that colour point up, that colour point up, and we found another colour, right, that points out. I might not leave the white there because of what I'm thinking for a border, but now it's just very easy. Is it? Yes, it's the blue there and that's it. So we've got 3 bits of blue. So now I'll start going through them using other colours, and I like to put my background fabric on the outside so it makes a square in a square. See, I'm trying to place these so they're sort of where I want, but I'm not doing a good job. Now I'm going to sew them together. You can either sew them together in a row, or I'll take you to the machine anyway. I've brought this layout to the sewing machine. This piece of wood isn't fixed to anything. I can move it, as you saw, on my ironing pad, which is on top of my hoop frame. I can move it anywhere in the room. At the moment it's propped up on my sewing desk and a cupboard. It just gives me a bit of extra space to lay things out. So I've got the layout that I want. So I'm going to pick up these first two. Put them nice sides facing each other, or right side, whichever. Let's move you to the sewing machine now. That's it, I've lowered the light on the sewing machine so you can see. So I'm now putting right sides together, line the corners up, and then start stitching. 1/4 inch seam allowance. There are a few anchoring stitches, and then make sure the ends are right. We get the next two. They are there, like that. So we're sewing together. And sometimes seam allowances will nest, sometimes they won't. You may be able to change the direction they're in. These actually are nesting, which is nice. Next two. These aren't nesting. You can make them nest if you want, which on this occasion I have been able to do. As you see, I'm leaving my fabric attached by a few threads. It keeps them all in the right direction, orientation. See, I've taken this one off. That's it. That needs to be in the corner. Oh. Now those four sewn together, I have a tendency of finger pressing them at this stage. So I press the bottom row to the right, the next row up goes to the left. This is what I'm doing. You can do different if you want. Then to the right, and then the top row is to the left. And then we get them, just check that it looks all right, which I think it does, yes. Get your next one, put it right sides down, well, right sides together. A few anchoring stitches, check the bottom, they're not nesting, so I'm going to bend that one over so they do. Next row, this one, put it down. Are my seams nesting? Yes, they are. Brilliant. And I'll carry on down this row. To the right. To the left. To the right. And to the left. And I've flipped that seam allowance, so I'll watch out for that. And so the other ones are now. If you've flipped a seam, such as I have, remember to flip it at the other end. There's two ends, a start and a finish. So remember, flip the other end. Or you're going to have a twist or bulk awkwardness in your quilt. Doing your work sideways, drop over there, and you can do now sew those rows together. They're held together by your threads. You can, because you've been pressing them one to the left, the next row to the right, your seams will nest really well. So there it goes. And that's my nested seam. And because of the back seam allowance is going down, the front is going up. The back seam allowance doesn't normally want to flick up because that's the way it runs through the machine. So that's your first two rows, and just carry on, do those because you put your seams in opposite directions so they will nest lovely. I'll carry on and do these two and then sew up the others and then come back to you. Oh, that is such a nice seam. That's not bad. Because of their nesting, you're getting good seams.